Hey guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday for everybody except for the Chrisleys, apparently, because Todd Chrisley is now speaking out on his podcast, Chrisley Confessions, and he's claiming that he became a slave to money, saying that he couldn't tell the difference in his self-worth and his net worth. He's also talking about the crimes that he's being convicted of and facing up to 30 years in prison with his wife, who got one additional charge. Yeah, the sentencing is October 6th, and that will be interesting to say the least. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so we remember, and it was first reported by Radar Online, that the Chrisleys, well, it's Todd Chrisley and his wife, Julie Chrisley, are facing up to 30 years in prison after being found guilty of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud. And Julie was also hit with an additional conviction, which was wire fraud. So this is really absolutely it's no joke. This is a huge situation, and they're facing a lot of time behind bars. Now, to this day, he's still claiming that it wasn't necessarily him or Julie who committed these crimes. It was someone else, and they will get what's coming to them in God's time. I think that he's talking about the former employee who outed the Chrisleys, and this former employee said, listen, he was having me do these fraudulent things. I'm going to let you guys know exactly what happened. Give me immunity. And it happened. And I did these things because we were in a relationship, claiming that he was in, a gay relationship while also being with his wife. These are allegations. We haven't seen proof of it, but this is what his former employee is stating. When it comes to him talking about his self-worth and his net worth, he said, I got lost and I couldn't tell the difference in my self-worth and my net worth. The bigger my net worth became, the less I focused on my self-worth because everything was being built around that net worth, around stuff. He said that he felt the pressure to keep up with everyone and keep up with the Joneses, and that's why he kept buying more homes, more cars, and everything in between. Now, I'm just kind of shocked that he's having these conversations and going on a podcast ahead of his sentencing date. And we heard that him and Julie are going to try to appeal this and make sure that they don't end up going to prison, because that's exactly what it looks like right now. Who knows if they'll be able to pull this off? We actually don't have that information, but I am curious. Again, we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, he's saying that his relationship with Julie has never been stronger. He actually has his daughter who's now decided to start talking to him again. And I think the family has kind of come around realizing that their parents could be put away for a long time. It also makes me think a little bit about my interview with Jen Shah, because everyone thought that it was so crazy that Jen Shah was willing to do an interview ahead of her trial. Now, we know that the trial never happened, but she did change her plea to guilty, and her sentencing is at the end of November. So that'll be an interesting moment. But as of right now, she's not talking on social media. She hasn't surfaced anywhere. I mean, she's posted like one or two photos, but it's not been any like big deal. She's not making any statements. And no, for everyone who keeps asking me, I get this all the time. Everyone asks me on Instagram, or they DM me, or they message me. I've even gotten emails. Have you spoken with Jen Shah? I have not spoken with Jen Shah. I don't think right now she wants to. I think she's probably focusing on her family. She's probably processing everything that's about to happen. And this is going to be a big change, right? Just like it will be for Todd and Julie Chrisley. They're going from living in a mansion and having all of these successful television shows and podcasts and producing these amazing things, and then having a beautiful life with the cars and the homes. All of this is now going down the tubes, because if you're facing up to 30 years in prison, say the judge doesn't actually slap them with the 30 years, gives them even 10 years, that's a long time behind bars. When I was talking to Emily D. Baker about this, the #1 badass legal commentator on YouTube, she said that it could be up to 30 years per charge. I thought it was 30 years as a whole, but from what she's saying, it's up to 30 years per charge. That is terrifying. I don't know. I kind of just want to pick your guys' brains about it. But he also continued on by saying, you become a slave to these things that you thought were going to bring you peace. So I got lost in that for my whole life because I think I was too ignorant. And when I use the word ignorant, I mean, I don't think I understood how to differentiate my self-worth and my net worth. And he said for him, his self-worth at this point, it feels low. Despite the possibility of being locked up behind bars for decades, he did claim again that his relationship with Julie has never been better. I said, in my perspective, it has drawn me closer to my wife, and I feel like my marriage, for me personally, internally, is the strongest that I've ever felt that it has ever been. That's, for me, how I feel. Now, despite admitting his obsession with money, Todd continued to point the finger at someone else for the crimes. According to him, an unnamed ex-employee is responsible for so much of the stuff that happened. People will get what's coming to them, but in God's time. We want to hurry it up because we're hurting so badly. We just want an ounce of love from someone else because we feel like we're hemorrhaging. Now, we also know as of right now, they are on house arrest until their sentencing, and they must inform their, probation officer if anything that they want to do. If they want to spend over $1,000, they have to inform their probation officer. If they want to, leave the house, they have to inform their probation officer. They're not really necessarily allowed to go and do anything without permission. And right now they're just sitting in their mansion waiting for their October 6th sentencing date. But I guess, and I don't want to just kind of sit here and, roll the dice on someone's fate. But if you guys do, if anyone is watching who has a legal background, knowing that they're, these are the crimes: wire fraud, tax fraud, defrauding the United States, bank fraud, conspiracy to commit bank fraud. With these crimes, do you think that there's any chance that the Chrisleys will walk, especially with there being another person who was involved? Or no, because the other person, the unnamed ex-employee who was involved, got immunity because he handed over all of this information and laid out exactly what happened, what was going on, and where the fraud was allegedly being committed. That is just a mouthful. I'm stressed. I'm stressed just thinking about it. And again, people keep comparing it to the Jen Shah stuff. I don't know. Also, someone asked me, are you going to interview the Chrisleys? I don't see that happening. For those of you who don't know, though, a fun little tidbit is we were supposed to have the Chrisleys join us on stage for our Spilling Tea live tour in Nashville, and we were hoping to have them on. But since they were going through all of this, it ended up, like we were talking back and forth with their publicist, and their publicist finally just kind of pulled the cord on it, saying, no, that's not going to happen, which now, watching this, makes sense. So guys, go ahead and comment below. And before you go, I just wanted to remind you, tomorrow we have the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Dubai recap, which means you have to watch it tonight. We'll be posting that thumbnail on our community tab today. That way you can click it. Make sure you go click it. You set your notifications. You smash that like button and do everything in between. We have a lot of exciting things coming up. I can't wait to share them with you. I don't like to normally tease, but yes, I will. And then on top of that, we have our, it's our Let's Whine About It for our members only coming up this Monday. So we'll post that one too. I love you guys so much, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye guys.